Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. I'm sure glad that you stopped by. But here in the last few days, I've been thinking a lot about the holiday season and how sometimes when you go through that season single or by yourself, it makes for a very, very, very difficult time. Before I married Karen, I was a single man for many years, and I recall the difficulties that this season could bring. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to just make a quick video with 8 tips to help you through this season as a single. And so 8 quick tips. Number 1, first tip is you define what the holidays should look like. You define what the holidays should look like. Basically, that's one of the reasons why we struggle. We've allowed the culture and we've allowed the marketing teams of certain companies to define what Christmas is all about. And one of the things that what we start to do is we start to think of the Christmas time and the holiday season as a romantic kind of time, and it can be. We start to think of all the Christmas lights and the dark and the cold, and we associate it with the holiday songs of romance. But the truth of the matter is, we can grab the reins there and determine what the holiday season means for us. For some of us, maybe we can define it as a truly spiritual time. From the beginning of Thanksgiving all the way through the Christmas season, we can make it a highly spiritual time, one to reflect on our faith. And that's really, truly what the season is all about. And so when the temptation to make this about us and our dating status and our marital status, maybe we can take some time to redefine that. Maybe we can make this season about family and redefine it to really focus on family, restoring our family ties with our brothers and our sisters, obviously our children, making Christmas special for our children, and really getting away from the romance mode and the dating mode and putting our focus back on our children and family. Maybe you can make it a time to really focus on others and define the Christmas season as a season that you're going to focus on others. Maybe it's doing outreach to homeless people that don't have a place to live during this cold season. Maybe it's reaching out and doing Christmas for those who are less fortunate and don't have a Christmas for you. But nonetheless, whatever it is, you take back the reins and you define what Christmas looks like, and don't let the marketing teams of companies define that for you. Tip number 2, be intentional about social media and television. Be intentional. It's during this time sometimes we get a little bored and we start flipping through our social media post. And during this time, if you're not careful, you're going to see people getting engaged. You're going to see people starting to date for the first time. You're going to see people on some incredible Christmas dates and Christmas activities, and it's going to get you in a depressed mood, or it's going to get you thinking, why isn't that me? And so one of the things I really want to challenge you is to be intentional about your social media. One of the things that you might do is, if you know this person, all they ever comment about is their relationship and how happy they are with their boyfriend or girlfriend or where they're at, maybe it's just a quick thumb scroll right through them so you don't see that. Maybe it's just limiting your social media intake to once or twice a day and checking those who are those are closest to you. Maybe it's making a list and a Facebook list and only checking people that are on that list, or making a group and only checking on them. But whatever it is, you be intentional about social media, and of course be intentional about television. There's so many Christmas movies out right now, especially the famous Hallmark Channel, and I don't need to say much more about that, but you know the Hallmark Channel. Every movie on the Hallmark Channel is about finding love. Well, maybe you shouldn't do romantic binges on Hallmark watching right now, especially if you're struggling with being single or not having someone this Christmas. It's very important. And anyway, once you've seen one Hallmark movie, you've seen them all. So be careful about that. Number three, come back from Fantasyland. Come back from Fantasyland. And that's kind of goes along with number 2. Sometimes in our mind, we start to have these dream fantasies of finding our partner at Christmas time and finding the right one in the Christmas season. And our mind drifts to, could this be the season that I find love? And is it going to be this Christmas that I find my partner, and so forth? You're probably not going to fall in love with the barista at Starbucks who's secretly a tech mogul. So Stop fantasizing about that, because what fantasizing does, it causes anxiety. And one of the things this season, the Christmas season, is already an anxious time of the year. What do I buy as far as gifts, or what do I do for that? How can I make it to all these parties and all these obligations? And I've got to get the kids to this program, and I've got to get over here. It's already an anxious time of the season. Don't complicate it and make it more anxious by always wondering in every place you're at, is she here? Is he here? Is this the place I find love? But it also, worse than that, it also causes you not to be present. And there's so many people that are counting on you to be present this Christmas season. Perhaps you find yourself a single adult who is maybe recently divorced, or maybe in my situation, you find yourself widowed, and this is the first Christmas you're going through alone. Your kids and those counting on you really need you to be present. And one of the things that fantasizing about romance and fantasizing about dating causes us to do is not be present. Number 4, you still with me? Number 4, try being genuinely happy for those who find love. Try being genuinely happy for those who find love. That's a hard one, isn't it? But I remember years ago when I was a single man, and I remember every time those in the single club seemed to find love, part of me would go to that default. Why can't that be me? Why can't I find the person I'm supposed to be with? But it was a happy day when I transferred that and intentionally said, every friend of mine, every acquaintance, every person I know, when they find true love and when they find a partner or a long-term relationship, I'm going to be genuinely happy for that person. Matter of fact, I kind of translated that to much of my life. When anything good happens to somebody I love and somebody I care for, I try to be as happy as I can for them. And that goes the same thing with dating. This Christmas season, you're going to find out about somebody who got engaged, and you're going to find out about somebody who got married during the Christmas season. One of the things that'll help you as a single person is to genuinely be happy for that person. And that happens by willing that and being intentional about it. Number 5, 5th tip for us. Are you ready? Number 5, don't isolate. Don't isolate. The tendency to happen, the tendency that happens with singles sometimes is during the Christmas season, because we're bent out of shape or upset about not having a partner, not having a boyfriend, not having a girlfriend, not having somebody to celebrate the holidays with, we begin to isolate. We don't go to the Christmas parties. We don't go to the Christmas programs. We stay in our house and binge watch television or just get some snacks and just stay inside. That's one of the worst things that we can do as a single person. Why? Why is isolation so bad for a single person? Well, first of all, it exaggerates the situation. It makes the situation a whole lot worse than it really is. Can I tell you, being single is difficult and it's being hard, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world. There's some people this morning who can't get out of bed because of their health. There's some people this morning that are battling cancer and in the fight of their life. There's some people this morning that are going to find some very, very bad news about their marriage, and they're actually losing their marriage and getting a divorce. There are some things worse than our situation. And when we isolate, our situation is exaggerated. What's also exaggerated when we isolate? Our desirability is exaggerated. We begin to think, nobody wants me. Oh, I'm too fat, which I probably am. But no, I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm too tall. I'm too short. We begin to exaggerate our desirability. I'm too old. Can I tell you something? And you know this as well as I do. There is somebody for everybody on this planet who wants somebody. And we know that if you truly want to be in a relationship, in some time you will. And so it exaggerates your desirability, and then it exaggerates the solution. When you isolate, it totally exaggerates the solution. You start to think, oh, I've got to go through all these people to find love, and my pool is so small, and it exaggerates the solution. We all know that you're only one person away from finding the true love of your life and finding a relationship. Number 6, and we're almost done here. Number 6, and this is a good one, and don't miss this one. And I'm going to highlight this one, and don't you forget it. Don't looking up exes or toxic relationships just to be with someone. No matter how lonely you get, it's not worth looking up an ex that didn't work out. It's not willing. It's not good, and it's not smart to look up somebody you know is bad for you, is toxic for you. So no matter how lonely you get, don't pick up the phone and send that text. Don't make that call. Don't say yes to that date if you know this person is not right for you, or even worse, this person is toxic for you. This person is abusive toward you. You know, there is life after the fantasy. Christmas will come and go. But if you make a wrong decision and reconnect with someone you don't want in your life, it's a lot harder to get rid of them the next time. Have more respect for yourself. Believe that you can do better than that person, and believe that you can, that everything is going to be better if you just pass on that toxic person. And then just remind yourself, you're just wasting time. You're wasting time, and you're wasting the time that it would take to get to another relationship. Number 7, you ready for this one? Be open to love. So many times we say one thing with our mouth and our actions say something different. If you want to make it through the Christmas holidays as a single person, be open to love. Let people know that you're willing to date. It's funny how sometimes we inside of us, we want to date and we want to have a partner. We want to go on to be married, perhaps. But we never let anybody know that we're open to it. And when people try to set us up, we get upset about it. At least be open to it. Drop a hint to a friend or a coworker and let them know that, hey, you know, if they know somebody who they think might be compatible with you, to introduce you and maybe have a cup of coffee with somebody, but be open to it. I think sometimes we have what's called ambivalence. We have two feelings. We want to find a partner, but at the same time we fight it. So this Christmas season, be open to it. And then let me ask you a simple question. What are you doing about it? If you say you want a relationship, if you say you want to find love this Christmas, what are you doing about it? And that's something God worked on my heart many, many years ago. When I was praying for a wife and praying for a partner, I remember that still small voice in my life, God asking, what are you doing about it? And then finally, number 8, I want to just simply say, don't give up hope. Hope is called a dream. And I remember many years as a single man in my mind visualizing what a beautiful relationship would look like and what Christmas and the holiday seasons could look like with a great partner. Oh, I'm so glad that I waited for the right one. I'm also glad that I took a chance and I took a risk. I remember going to my wife's office and knocking on her door and inviting her to a baseball game. And I remember how that relationship matured, and we went through some ups and downs trying to figure out if we were compatible. But I remember when we decided that we were meant for each other, we were engaged, and I remember those beautiful Christmases that we spent together, and they were some really, really great. I'm so glad that I never lost hope that it could happen for me. And I just want to encourage you today, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope that it can happen for you. Maybe it won't be this Christmas. We sure hope it was, or could be, but maybe it's another one. But I'm rooting for you, and maybe you can just drop down. Maybe I didn't cover today a tip that has worked for you, but maybe you can drop it down in the comments today, and maybe a tip that works for you as a single during the holidays, or any other thoughts. Make sure to drop them in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel, and you'll get a notification every time a video like this pops up. God bless you. I'm rooting for you, and if you want me to pray about something, always you can drop it in the comments or send me a message. All right, hang in there, and you define what this Christmas season is all about. God bless you.